Warning! This podcast contains the end of the Supergirl.
What? No. What?
On
Oh! I get where you're
which
going.
network?
Yeah.
Multiple choice. A, B, or C. Hello everyone and welcome to the SC.TV podcast for Supergirl finale. Season 1, Episode 20, Better Angels. I'm your host Dom. With me is Rachel, Nikki, and Cleo.
Hi.
How's it going? So, it is a bit of time since the actual finale of Supergirl.
No, it's not. What are you talking about? We did it immediately.
It's a bit of time. Kind of one of the reasons why we wanted to wait is the show was in limbo. We didn't know what was going on with the renewal and where it was going, but we knew after the CBS network press release, we'd be finding out if they continued the show or not. They decided not to. The budget was too big, so the show has gone over and is now family with the CW. Starting that news off, there's already rumors flying around about the cast because they will not be filming West Coast anymore. They're moving to I think it's Vancouver, Canada.
That is West Coast.
That's still West Coast.
Oh, is it? Okay.
You mean like California?
Well, isn't it
Not
more?
America.
Isn't it more inland than?
No, not really.
No,
No?
Vancouver is like there's Victoria Island and then there's Vancouver on the coast.
It's right above Washington State.
Yeah.
Okay, I thought it was a little bit further inward, like one set of states over from California.
No, it's right above Washington.
Gotcha. Okay. But yeah, okay, so anyway, it's moving to a whole other country, and that's kind of the big problems. And the big thing going around right now is the actress Calista Flockhart, who plays Cat Grant, may not go with them. And that's actually kind of the most disappointing news that I've ever heard.
And I'm not surprised.
In your entire life.
In my entire life, yes.
I mean, I'm disappointed, but I'm not surprised.
For the show.
I know.
I'm not altogether surprised because, you know, who she's married to, and I'm pretty sure he's pretty set and wanting to stay in California.
I think they can get away with keeping her as like a reoccurring character and bring her in occasionally. That what they probably could do is write a whole bunch of scripts and get her down there, film for like a week and a half, 2 weeks, get all her stuff done for, the time being, send her back, and, if she's got to do a couple reshoots and stuff, getting her in to come in for a day or so shouldn't be too big of a deal.
No.
At least for the beginning. So if that happens, I fully expect her to be on the show because her contract is in negotiations right now. She's not returning or anything right now. She's the only one up there. So what I think, especially the way this episode ended with Kara kind of getting her own office and stuff, we're going to see a lot less
of her.
Yeah, we're going to see a lot less of her, and they're going to be able to explain it off that way and how we're not going to see a lot of her. I don't expect her to be fully gone.
No.
So it's just going to be less, and then I have a feeling something tragic is going to end up happening to her at some point in leading up to maybe the mid-season finale where they could find a way to off the character and not have to worry about the scheduling. That's if negotiations don't go well.
Or they could have, like, Kara and them going to a different paper, or she's stepping down, or something.
Yeah. There's a lot of stuff they can do there.
She gets killed off.
But with that news also comes the best news of all, which is it's now home on the CW, which we've already seen the Flash crossover, which opens the door for so many more crossovers. And what the rumors are flying already is this December is a 4-show crossover.
All the crossovers.
Yeah. Getting Supergirl, Flash, Arrow, and Legends of Tomorrow all blended together. It's going to be phenomenal. And I think it goes without saying, all of our expectation is going to be the merger of Earth S, which, since we've done this podcast last, Cleo was very adamant on only calling it Earth 3 for logical numerical progression. Made sense. But Earth 3...
As soon as you explained it, I
Earth
totally
3 in the
went back on
comics
that.
is kind of a big deal, and that's why the fandom hasn't been calling it Earth 3, so it's kind of on Reddit and everything, the unofficial name is Earth S. So that's what we're going to call it for now.
Okie dokie.
Welcome to the multiverse.
Yes, exactly. So, with all that knowledge, during the crossover episode when Barry and them, they're going through the computer system, and there's no Oliver Queen, there's no Barry Allen, there's no Black Canary, you know, he's going through the whole list of people. None of these people exist. The cities are there, but the people aren't. So that leads us to believe...
The cities and industries are still there. I mean, there's still Star Labs in there.
No, there actually wasn't.
There was.
There was definitely no Star Labs. That was not a thing. I don't know. They didn't mention Mercury Labs, so...
Yeah,
Mercury Labs
I remember they said that... I can't remember if they said it was or wasn't.
Yeah, no, they definitely said it was not, and none of the people surrounding it was either, which makes the perfect blend of worlds, if that's going to be a thing, which we're really all banking on, and if that's what this crossover is leading up to, it's going to be phenomenal. So hopefully they will merge Supergirl's Earth and Barry's Earth, you know, Barry and Company's Earth, get that all together and have a big fun time. So
big happy fun time.
Yep, and that'll be
the Earths come together.
Yeah, that'll put Clark and Kara both in Ali and Barry's world, and, you know, it'll end up working much, I'm assuming, much the way it works in the comics, where it blends, some people retain some memories, some people don't, and it's as it was that way all along kind of thing for most people, but some people still, like Barry should be able to remember the fact that they merged it and things like that.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah.
But everyday people walking around, they're not going to know that happened. So I think anybody that was actually involved in forcing the merge, because I don't think it's going to be accidental. I think it's 100%. Cleo's very...
I'm on the opposite side
Yeah,
of
she's
that.
very different about that. I think it's going to be one or both of the Earths are like nearing destruction. They're about to die, and this is the only way to save them. So they decide to do that because
I think it's going to be an...
They're so similar but different at the same time.
Yeah, no, I feel like they're going to do something to try to save something or someone, and it's going to accidentally merge worlds. And so, oops!
You know,
that was not the intended consequence.
I'm just gonna blame Wells for everything.
I agree.
Okay.
It's all his fault, accident, or on purpose.
You mean Harry?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Who else would it be?
Harrison?
The dead Wells?
Harrison and Harry are two different people. Yeah. But anyway, so the other big thing is the way this fucking episode ended, right? Kryptonian pod, boom. Who's in it?
Boom!
Who's in
Zod or Papa?
Superdog.
Astro?
Superdog would be fantastic, but I don't think it would have gave Kara that look.
I think, well, it didn't... Oh, shoot, because Clark had the dog. I think she had a cat. Did she have a cat, or did she have another dog?
I think there was a cat. I remember.
I think she had a cat.
I don't remember. I'm gonna have to
Super
Google.
Cat.
Supergirl cat.
And a super mutt.
No, I'm just finding Cat Graham now.
Yeah, I see that now.
Supergirl's
Supergirl pet. Wait, I got it.
Super Cat.
No, Super Cat's a DJ. That's nope, definitely not it.
You could look up Supergirl's pet.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Sneaky the Super Cat.
Okay.
Yep. Streaky.
Streaky the sneaky super cat.
Sneaky sounded better.
Sneaky the super. Yeah, that was it right.
Cats are kind of sneaky.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, kind of the three big ones that I've seen floating around is Zod could possibly come from the Phantom Zone or from Fort Ross that just recently exploded in the atmosphere. Possibly Kara's father, Zor-El, who escaped Krypton. Or possibly even Kal-El having a clone of Superman created by Cadmus. Those are kind of the three going around because a Kal-El clone is like a big deal in Superman fandom and has direct ties with Supergirl in the comics, so it's kind of a big deal. I'm thinking maybe her father? Not Zor-El, but her other father?
I think it has more or less to do with Zod. That's just me, because of going off of all the other Superman things I've seen.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of the one that the fandom is kind of agreeing on at this moment. I think Zod is more a Superman villain than he is a Supergirl, which doesn't mean they can't do it, but...
That's true, because, I mean, we've seen... She's not the Brainiac, but,
right.
you know, we've seen some Superman villains go up against Supergirl so far.
So which of those three? Nikki said Zod. Cleo, which one do you think?
The dog.
I would love
dog.
it.
It's the dog.
I would love it because I did mention
I think
that
it's a family member.
Episodes, or when I first watched it, I said, "Please be Super Dog," but I mean, realistically, I'm thinking Zod because that's definitely more because of her reaction. It was like, "Oh my god."
If she opened the pod and Super Dog or Super Cat were sitting in there, she just would have been like,
and like squealed like I did when we were talking about
I know. I think it's a family member. It's a family member she wasn't expecting to see. Her dad, her mom. That would have that shock look on her face.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Because they should be like, what the fuck? I thought you were dead.
Yeah, imagine Astra's dead and her mom shows up in a pod, but that doesn't make sense because
that's why
would her mom send her away and then just follow?
That's why I'm thinking Zor-El. So we will see. What was your guys' opinion on Myriad? I think I don't know. They built Myriad up too big and it kind of fell flat for me.
Well, I think.
I don't know. They built it up, and then it just seemed like it was too easy.
It wasn't.
I don't think that Non knew all of what Myriad could do or what could stop it. I think Astra didn't tell him everything.
Well, I mean, I also don't think that anyone thought that Hope could break it. You know, it's
a human thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get that.
I think it's also a Kryptonian thing too, but I just don't think anyone ever saw that as a possibility.
I mean, for the most part, the story was spread over 2 episodes, right? Because it was this one and then the episode beforehand. It was introduced in episode 18, which was the Flash crossover, but that was literally the last minute, so that doesn't count. I don't know. It seemed like it was defeated a little too easy for me, but you know, when you have something like that, if this was a full 22 or 24 episode show, I feel like they probably would have let the Myriad story go on for another episode or 2, and I think it would have ended up working out better. I think it was just still a little short for me, but I do like, you know, that it was, you know, Kara's the power of her voice and the symbol and stuff that did it, but that just really gets me confused for the episode before when she was in her suit and stuff talking to Jimmy and stuff, and like the whole, you know, like, snap out of it, guys, and they weren't coming out of it.
Well, I think because they were under the control and they weren't looking at her. They presented this in a way where like they had no choice but to see the symbol, but to hear her voice, you know.
Yeah.
She didn't have hope herself. She didn't have hope herself. She thought this was a hopeless thing.
Yeah.
And it was a very personal story she was telling, as opposed to just saying, "Hey, wake up."
Yeah.
She made it personal, and it was more relatable. People could relate to her, so.
Yeah. You know, and then between that and then the whole showdown between Non and Indigo, that battle was really short.
Yeah, I think that's the part that kind of threw me. That's the part where I thought everything was too easy. I mean, yes, I loved how the Martian ripped Indigo in half. That was
still alive.
She was still going.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, the whole, like, non-laser versus laser, and, like, that, it just, I don't know, there wasn't enough for me. There wasn't enough action.
When it first aired, it was, like, at a time where all the shows I was watching, I'm just like, yeah, kill him, rip his head off. I was telling everybody on the shows I was watching to rip somebody else's head off. And I did it to Jean. I was like, yeah, rip her head off. And then he rips her in half, and I was like, oh, somebody listened. Somebody listened.
Well, realistically, that's kind of like the only way to really, like, I guess, stop her.
Yeah.
I thought she was going to come back together.
I did
and it looked like she was, like, kind of slowly.
I don't know.
But then she's
it's
like,
just, you know, it's basically like taking your, like, a cord of some sort and just ripping it apart. You can splice it back together. It's just not going to be the same.
Yeah.
The chances are you're not going to do that. You're just going to go buy yourself a new cord.
Yeah. But, I don't know, I felt like it was a little short. It was still satisfying, but it was still a little short. Brian Gabriel in chat actually also just pointed out that possibly Superboy could be in the pod. Maybe.
And I've seen that people say that before around the internet, and I don't think that, because Superboy is created by Cadmus. It's a clone of Superman. I don't know why Superboy would be coming from Krypton. The thing that throws me off is that it's a pod clearly coming from Krypton.
Yes, maybe. I don't want to say clearly, because it could have been in Fort Ross. It could have been.
That's true.
You know.
It
is clearly a Kryptonian pod.
Because what I thought, when I was trying to think of what it could be, I thought Power Girl, but then I was like, oh no, that's a clone of Supergirl. It wouldn't be in a pod.
Right.
Yeah. I don't know.
Who knows? But, that goes with my original theory of a Kal-El clone. So, could be that. But, seeing John Jones get reinstated to the DEO and everything was actually kind of satisfying. As big of a dick as General Lane has been,
General Dickhead?
Yeah, to finally see him coming around and being like, no, look, this is yours.
He didn't come around. Because neither did Lord. Because at the end, they have the Kryptonian technology that they're clearly not going to use for good.
He's only doing it because he doesn't want to lose Lucy like he lost Lois.
He's going to do it anyway.
I know.
I look around between DC and Marvel. I'm like, all of the generals are assholes. Ross, Talbot, Ealing, Lane, they're all assholes. All of them are the same. They're all jerks.
Yeah. That's the common thread. Even the guy from Warehouse 13.
Which one?
He was just in last episode 19. The guy who played Peter from Warehouse 13.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
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 Yeah, he was a dick.
He wasn't that much.
He was a dick.
I mean, the armed forces have to be like, good. What? We're not all assholes here.
No, I'm sorry.
I know, but the
United States military. I don't mean you. I don't mean you in real life. I mean,
we mean the way you're portrayed in comics.
The fictional version. I know. I'm just saying that. Can you imagine these guys are like, we're not all assholes?
Yeah. all of the United States generals that are watching this podcast.
Yes, all of you. I apologize. All 0 of you.
Granted, there might be some that are, but we're not.
Yeah.
I mean, yes, they have to be strict, they have to be stern, but I mean, like, they're not these people we see in these shows.
Right. Yeah. Because I think it's especially in the superhero world, it's a pretty easy trope to do, the military man who's very anti superhero. Well, yeah, not just change, but anti-superhero, because they see them as vigilantes, as threats that need to be neutralized or need to be controlled.
Yeah, and that's what I love so much about John Jones being reinstated, and then him going, look, Lucy's shown a great, way of thinking, and she caught up in the way he worded it. I can't word it anyway, the way he worded it, but and he was just like, no, you're still going to help me out, and you're going to do this. So the two of them working together is going to be great going into next season.
So they're co-directors?
That's the way I took it. Good. I mean, I could be completely
they're
wrong.
Partners. That's a great idea.
Yeah, because then you have an alien and you have one alien and one human running the DEO, which is, I think, a perfect way to do it.
Get both perspectives, make better decisions.
One can't perform to get another one.
Yep. Yeah, no, it'll be great. Especially since Lucy kind of had that hard way of thinking that her father did, or does. And she could kind of understand where he's coming from. Not that he's right, but understand the way he thinks to get there, to try to explain her reasoning to him easier. Mm-hmm. She's got a better connection to that. So I think that would be great. But to find out that Alex actually piloted her Supergirl's pod, was phenomenal when she just picked up Kara. Like, I loved it.
I bet you it was mostly, automated kind of thing.
Oh, yeah. But still, I loved it. I did not expect that.
No.
Were you guys expecting Alex to show up?
I thought it was going to be Clark.
I thought it was going to be... I don't know who it was. I didn't think it was going to be her.
To be fair, I was just sitting there like, show me Clark, show me Clark, show me Clark, show me Clark. Getting close to the TV the whole time. Like, just, I want to see, I want to see, I want to see. But
they showed you his feet. Is that enough?
Yes.
Yeah. No. I think that's too much. These last 2 episodes, like, you see... No! Hear me out!
I'm hearing you, but I'm still laughing.
Because these last 2 episodes,
too much.
The previous episode, you see him... The previous episode, you see him flying away, and it's like, oh, okay, I guess we're, he's gonna go do something. He doesn't do anything. He passes out. We see his boots. It's like we're seeing glimpses of Superman and not anything substantial, and I think that's kind of worse than not seeing anything at all.
Yeah, I mean, obviously the reason is because they haven't cast the actor yet. That is the reason from the technical standpoint, from the standpoint of the show, it's not that interesting.
Yeah, don't be like, oh, I guess he didn't wake up yet. He's in a coma. Yeah. No biggie.
No.
So he's awake because you saw them chitty-chatting on the freaking IMs that they're using.
Yeah, at the end.
Okay.
Yeah, at the end he's awake and doing stuff.
Now that they switched channels, basically, there's going to be, the overhead's going to be a lot less. So maybe now they could start looking for someone to play Superman without having to, $3 million an episode kind of thing.
Yeah. It wasn't 3 million, it was 300.
Whatever. It was a lot.
Yeah.
100 million?
I thought it was 3 million.
About 90% sure on that. Let me double check.
That sounds ridiculous. That sounds
like it was 3 million, but either way, it was ridiculous. So I mean, I can see why they didn't really cast him. It was probably like some, shlomo that was like eating a donut behind the camera. Hey, we need your feet.
Yeah.
It probably wasn't anyone to so but I mean now, they have the money to maybe find someone
to throw around. They have a little extra wiggle room.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, I don't know. I can't find the exact time right now, but it was a big number. It was like, I looked at it and I was like, are you kidding me? Like, it was a big number.
Yeah.
But yeah, unfortunately, I'm sure somebody out there can post down below in the comments and let us know. I don't know. The pilot itself cost $14 million.
Oh, yeah.
So.
Okay.
Even before licensing fees, it was reported that Supergirl cost about $3 million per episode.
Okay.
Ugh.
Yeah. So that's before licensing fees.
Mm-hmm. And they didn't say, they've never mentioned how much the licensing fees are.
Yeah.
Which is probably astronomical in itself. Or probably not as much big as it would be if they brought in Superman. Then that would have freaking bankrupt them.
yeah, that's true. So I don't know. It is a large amount. But I overall, I don't think a whole lot happened this episode, right? We saw these big things come to an end. We saw some closure to some stories, but the big one is, Kara's mom finding out that her husband, Jeremiah's still alive, and he's in some facility. He's in Cadmus. So we have that alone is a big enough reveal that would have hooked me in for season 2. But now we have this Kryptonian pod, and it's like, oh my god, what is up with this? And now I'm even more invested in this. And the fact that this is going to the CW and it's now part of the Flareoverse. I'm just I'm more invested in this show than ever.
The Legends of Flareoverse?
Yes.
The Legends of Super Flareoverse. There you go.
No, you have to be like every other fandom and mix them all into one word.
There you go. Oh god.
We'll think about that next time.
Flash Arrow Legends Girl.
That.
No.
Shut up, I tried.
Super Fledgenlow.
Yeah, that's totally better than what I said.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm sorry, madam, you have superfluid.
that
does sound like a disease.
Yeah.
It's uncurable, sorry. I don't know what exactly it does, but
there's no vaccine for that.
Yeah, but I don't know. Overall, I think the show had a very rough time coming into when it first started. It took a little while to get its legs, but when it did, look out. The show was phenomenal ever since.
I think the first half, there was scheduling issues too because of things that were happening in real world.
I think putting it on like a bigger, a more mainstream, I guess you want to say, channel.
CBS is super mainstream.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think that, and they don't really have. But it's
not at the same time.
They don't have anything that's like that because their shows are more, I guess you want to say, adult oriented.
Like CSI.
Yeah, I mean, they're more. And I think Supergirl will find its home and its legs here with the other DC.
Yeah.
The other DCs. I think it'd be easier for people to be like, okay, it's on this channel. I'm already watching Flash or Arrow or Legends, so might as well just watch Supergirl on Mondays.
Yeah. Yeah, but yeah, and as Nikki mentioned, the show had a bit of a rough start when episode 4 and 5 were transpositioned when they aired and stuff like that. So, being conscious, being in the know, like people like us, we're talking about it. That's what we do. So it's our job to make sure that we are staying in the know on this. So we knew that. But if you weren't following along, if you're not on the internet, if you're not on Twitter and all that to know that the episodes aired out of order, it would have been really confusing to see how the storyline between Lucy and Jimmy were going on, and like, I don't know, my head would have been all over the place if I was just a casual viewer.
It was really weird. If you didn't know.
But really being in the know, it was a little bit different. We were able to look past it. But besides Supergirl, I just want to talk real quick about each of the characters and where they got to. Because Supergirl, we'll get to. She's going to be the last one I want to talk about. But what do you guys think of Alex, like from beginning to end?
I'm gonna start with the end first, and the last scene that I remember her was, the pod, but there was a scene before that with her and Lord when, desperation sets in, they're like, just like grab each other's hand, they're like, and I was like, is there something going on there? Is that more than just, oh my god.
Puking off camera right now.
Yeah.
But we've always thought that when they're on their dates and when he was flirting with her, granted he wanted something out of her, but she wanted something out of him. But there was always been that little spark.
Now that there was that like whole like, oh god, their world's going in, let's just hold hands kind of thing. Like I see it going.
I don't know. I feel like Alex at the beginning was a character I really didn't care for, didn't like at all. There was nothing about her. She seemed very resistant to helping Supergirl, and then we found out why, and it was like this kind of slow reveal, and it took a little time to get its footing. When it did, it paid off, and I ended up really liking Alex's character in the end.
I think she had a lot of growth. Loved her. Yeah, she had a lot of growth in just the season.
Yeah.
She I don't think she knew who she really was, kind of thing. She didn't have a place. She wasn't staking her claim on anything.
And just the bond between her and Kara seemed like it got stronger now than it ever did when they were growing up.
There's no more secrets.
Yeah, and they kind of grew into two people separately, where Kara was always jealous of Alex because Alex was the regular girl, what she always wanted to be and everything, and Alex always wanted to be more. She wanted to be like Supergirl, and the two of them never really had that talk and never knew that they wanted to be more like the other. And
that's what happens with sisters.
Yeah. So I think in the end it played out very well, and I'm very happy with the way they both grew. And
I'm not necessarily saying that you want to be them, but you don't talk about that kind of stuff.
What about
at least my sister and I never did.
What about John Jones? What about him from the beginning when he was not John Jones?
Oh, I wasn't done with talking about.
Oh, okay, go ahead.
Alex, because I think my favorite part was their mother saying, trying to talk her out of the mind washing, and it's like your father's always said you were the strongest of all of us, and I really loved that. That without superpowers, she's the strongest of any of them.
I think that's why
I love Alex.
I think that's why he put so much pressure, not really pressure, but so much responsibility on her, because he knew she could handle it.
Yeah. So, what do you guys think about Hank Henshaw?
At first?
Yeah.
You mean Hank or
Hank.
Sean?
No, Hank, right at first.
Hank.
I mean, he's been John the whole time, but I'm saying from the very beginning. I'm talking about episode 1 till now.
I thought he was a little bit of a dick. You know, that typical military kind of.
I only saw him once. I didn't like him because he was mean.
Yeah.
There you go.
Well, I knew there was something else to him, and I was trying to figure out what it was, and then we found out it was John Jones, and I lost my goddamn mind.
Keep in mind,
I remember when we first saw his eyes turn red, we're like,
keep in mind,
Cyborg!
I want to just point out for everybody at home watching that Nikki actually didn't jump into the show until at least about episode 6, I think, was one of her first ones watching.
It was the Flash Supergirl crossover. That was my first
episode.
No,
that was not your first. You've seen a few.
No, that's the one before that.
You saw a few before that.
No.
Yeah. But where she actually sat down and focused on the whole episode. She's seen the episodes before that.
I did write notes for an episode I hadn't seen before, and they got used. Yeah,
that's true. Oops. That's true. So she was a little familiar going into, a lot of the characters and stuff. But it wasn't until... It wasn't The Flash, because you started watching it before that going, well, I guess I got to get ready for The Flash episode. She was watching. She watched about half the season, I want to say. I think she picked it up in the mid-season. And then a couple episodes before that sporadically. So when she's saying the first time she met Hank when she didn't like him, she literally only saw him in one episode. And that was early on. So
that was the episode when they were finding out about Jeremiah, and they were doing the flashback. That's the first time I saw Hank.
Yeah. See, that was way before the Flash crossover.
Was it?
Yeah. Way before. Like 3 episodes before.
They were just finding out about Cadmus and that Jeremiah
they just found out about Cadmus recently.
Yeah. So I don't think I've seen him before that.
It was before the Flash episode.
Okay.
He was a character we didn't like. None of us liked him. And then when we found out that he was John Jones, and we're just like, oh my god, this is a whole different character.
In the beginning, it's not that I didn't like him, it's that I was very concerned about who he was going to turn out to be, because we thought it was going to be a cyborg and he could be bad, but he seemed like he could be good. There was he was towing a weird line.
Yeah.
And then John Jones, and I was like, yeah, I love you.
When his eye went red and everything, we were like, oh my god, he's a cyborg. Like, those glowing eyes. And we didn't think he was a Green Martian.
No, I had no idea. No, that was the best reveal, I think.
Yeah. That was, I didn't even see that one coming. Have to admit. But then afterwards, we're like, okay, this makes a lot of sense why he was being such a doofy.
Yeah.
Yep. What about Cat Grant?
I loved her the moment I met her.
She's so sassy. I always love the sassy characters.
I mean, yeah, she came off as a major twat sometimes, but she did it so classy.
Yeah.
And then I mean, we went on.
I never really liked Calista Flockhart, but she plays a really good bitch.
Yeah.
I have to admit.
And and as we went along, it was there were reasons and backstory, and we learned about her, and she's like a very, very rounded character.
Yeah, she was not at the very beginning. We're just like, she's just being a bitch for being a bitch, and
she's just like
at some points certain things were getting under our skin. I remember very early on some like off comments and stuff, but then as we started getting some more backstory in her, we grew to love her more than most of the characters on the show.
I think it was right around Livewire episode.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely, because that was really the first dip into her backstory that we got.
Yeah, and then the whole story with her son Alex, and things. It was phenomenal from there. James Wynn. I feel like James. Let's go with James first, but James. I don't know. I feel like the payoff between him and Kara ended up taking too long, and we never were actually convinced why the two of them were good for each other. Like, I never once got that other than we can make googly eyes at each other.
Even at the last scene where he gives her the picture of her just, smiling with her eyes. I was like, eh.
I mean, it was a really sweet gesture. I love it, but I'm still not convinced that the two of them belong together. If we spent a little more time on that, sure, but they never gave us a good reason as viewers to be like, yes, they belong together.
You know what? Cisco needs a break when the worlds combine Cisco and Supergirl.
Yes, make it happen. Cleo's having second thoughts about
I'm still
Jimmy now.
holding out hope that him and Cisco and Lisa Snart are gonna make snarty babies.
No.
No.
To use Nikki's term against her.
No. Only Leo.
Only Leo.
He's the only one who can make snarty babies.
Yeah. As for Win, I feel like Win really didn't offer very much to the plot at all. Yes, he had some great moments. He was an interesting character, but there was never any time that he really shined, except for the Toymaker episode. Yeah. And I wish we had more episodes like that where Win felt like a major part of the episode. He felt like a very side character that offered nothing but conflict for the James relationship that we didn't even get a reason for.
There's so many things they would never have been able to do without Win. Win was very much a behind the scenes making shit work.
I get that.
I have a feeling
my point is I would have liked him not to be behind the scenes. And
yes.
That's my problem with the way the character is portrayed.
They're going to ask him to join the DEO. I have a feeling.
I would love that. And that would add a lot more depth to his character. With Kara off in her own office, there's no need to have him sitting around the office anymore. Right? They're probably not going to run into each other as often. Sure, they still will, but they're not going to be sitting next to each other to like glance over and just whisper things to each other anymore. So putting him in another office, putting him in the DEO, whatever, it's not going to be too big of a change, and it's going to allow him to help Supergirl a bit more and kind of keep him away from the Jimmy Olsen love triangle thing that I was already sick of the moment it started.
And I mean, I agree. I don't think there needed to be a love triangle, but I think he's over it. Like, there was definitely that moment where they're like, we need to talk about the thing. And Wynn was like, oh, okay, that's a thing that doesn't involve me, let me leave. Like, I think he's in a good place now.
Now maybe. He wasn't when he said that.
With what's-her-face.
I know, but he's good
Creepy
now.
lady.
Yeah. As for the villains this season, Astra and Non were kind of the big ones. I feel like Non even wasn't as big as Astra, even though he was there in the end. Non really just didn't get a whole lot of story, I feel like. It was just like, I'm just going to do whatever Astra says, and then when she doesn't want to do this, I'm going to do it anyway. And that was really his story.
I remember the episode I started watching. It was the episode after Astra got killed. When Alex just...
Yeah.
That's when I started watching.
I loved the Astra stuff.
She was so compelling.
There were a couple
moments.
And Non
was just not.
There were a couple moments when I thought she was a little flat, delivery anyway. But
that's just how they...
I think that was on purpose.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was on purpose.
That's her character.
I think she could have been, I guess in a way she was redeemed, I guess, a little bit. I think she could have, if she would have been alive longer, she could have seen the beauty, I guess, in the humans and not wanted to. But I think that she had Non behind her, pushing her.
Yeah.
Basically, you already said you're going to do this, so you got to do it, kind of thing. You got to keep your word.
You're giving Non a little too much credit.
No, I think that, like a couple times, she's like, she's not going to die. He's like, why don't you just kill her? And, he's just like that little voice behind her just going, you got to do it now that you said you're going to do it. You may not see them, but that's just how it felt like.
Which is super funny because then after Astra was dead, Brainiac became the voice in Non's ear.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, God. Towards the end, I fucking hated her. I'm just like, why don't you die, please? And then she gets ripped in half. So.
But I feel like the real villain this whole time has actually been Maxwell Lord. And we find that even more so in, like, one of the last scenes here.
He has his little sticky fingers in everything.
Yeah, and I mean, he's more dangerous now than ever because he's made friends with them. He's on the inside. They think they've converted him.
I don't think they think they converted him.
Well, they think he's working with
on
them
their
now.
side. Yeah.
So
I don't know. She's still. I mean, Supergirl, I think, still was like, why aren't you off doing, taking care of your own business? Why are you even still here?
Right. Yeah. No, but that's the way Alex is. She's gonna make comments like that.
No, Supergirl.
Supergirl? I thought Alex said that.
I mean, in the very end, it was do or die. So they were already going to risk their lives to do something. He might as well have helped to save his own skin.
Yeah. I mean, when we first met Maxwell Lord, didn't have much story, just like everybody else, and we got very vague. Something happened to his parents, and it was alien related, and as time went on, we still didn't get all the answers we wanted, but we got enough of them. And enough of them, I mean, enough to carry us into season 2 with still some mystery behind the character. And I like that. And I like that he's keeping them close to his belt because he's going to need to use them at some point. And that's what I like about a true villain. And that's why I feel like he's going to still be big villain going into the next season.
He gives me a Lex Luthor feel.
Kinda, yeah.
Yeah.
Just a little bit.
Yep.
Yeah.
I like it. But then as the side ones went, we had Indigo, Gem, Master Jailer, Silver Banshee, and then Kara herself, but we'll get into that. Out of the 4 of those, Indigo I think was my favorite.
You got Livewire on there.
She seems like a teensy character to me anyways.
Ooh, Livewire?
Yeah.
I guess I didn't have Livewire.
Well, he has Silver Banshee on there, so I mean.
Yeah,
I guess.
I'm sorry, I fucking hate the Silver Banshee.
So did I. It's like, what are you going to, like, a Day of the Dead parade? What's going on?
Yeah.
I mean, it isn't an homage to her actual comic book character costume, but like,
right.
It just seemed way out of place for this show.
100% agree. I appreciate trying to give the nod to the comics. Didn't work. It's the same way we've seen in the X-Men movies. Why Wolverine doesn't wear the yellow costume? Doesn't work. But they still were able. Would you prefer
yellow spandex?
They were still able to throw nods to it, and it worked. They could have done something similar with Silver Banshee. Like I said, I appreciate the effort, but in practice, it didn't work out.
Images.
Yeah. I don't know. Indigo, I think, was my favorite of the grouping.
Oh, Indigo was so annoying.
I liked her because she was Supergirl.
I mean, yes, that's
in Smallville.
But like, she reminded me too much of Mystique, like her color combination, and it threw me off every time I saw her.
Yeah, I see that.
I hated her hairstyle. I don't know why. It just bugged me.
I liked the way they did the blue makeup. Looked great. Her hair was all right, but it was her lipstick that kept bothering me because it was never right. And it was on her teeth sometimes. And I'm just like, oh god, fire the makeup person. Just fire them.
Really? I never noticed that.
I noticed. I'm just like, oh, the lipstick is just terrible.
Wow.
But
we noticed
it costs so
we're all
much.
Commenting on her makeup.
Apparently, it costs so much to make the show that they had to skimp out on makeup artists.
I feel like all the makeup that they had to use for all her takes was most of the budget.
Yeah. What gets me is that the blue on her face was flawless.
Yeah.
And then her lipstick was awful, and I'm like, oh, come on.
Yeah, I mean, I looked, even when in the scene when she was ripped apart at the end, she's in the dirt or whatever, there's dirt blotches on her face, but I'm looking and there's no scuffs in, the marker from but it was perfect, flawless, even at the hairline, everything, I don't know, it was great. So, I don't have any complaints on that, but, some of it, but... As for the other ones, I think the weakest of the grouping was Master Jailer. He had the potential to be very interesting, but I think he was the weakest. You guys even remember Master Jailer?
Yeah, I remember.
Nope.
No.
Which one was that?
The one that broke out of the prison and he had the guy in the reverse Krypton.
Yeah,
like,
I still don't remember.
He was pretty compelling, but he had just such a short bit that he was relevant.
Yeah, that's where we had some of the best jokes in the show. Do you remember our jokes? It's like what was it? The dog and what was it? I don't remember the dog.
Oh,
it's the dog under the bridge or something. Remember, it was like literal.
Walter under the bridge.
Yeah, Walter.
Oh,
yeah,
God,
that's what it was. Walter under the bridge.
Oh, that guy was hilarious.
That was that episode, and I fucking loved it.
It was all Walter under the bridge.
There's some great moments in that whole episode, but I don't know. I feel like Master Jailer is one of the weakest. But I think the one villain that shined the most was Supergirl herself in the Red Kryptonite episode. And I think that's when I realized that I absolutely love this show. It was that episode. What?
No, I love that. I thought those
were Supergirl.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was the episode that shined to me. Like, I look at that, and that was the moment I decided, no, I have to watch this show forever now. Forever.
And ever.
Yeah, her bad side was kind of cool. Was kind of the badass side, but
it also feels like that's when the show itself hit its stride, and unfortunately it was kind of late into the show, but that's kind of when I made that epiphany that no, this show has hit its stride. It knows what it's doing now. Yeah, there's still some gripes with it, but now we've learned a lot of that had to do with budget and scheduling and, you know, a whole bunch of stuff, and now that the show is going to be at home on the CW with the family of the production crews that know exactly what they're doing instead of flying back and forth to Vancouver and California and whatever to get a lot of this production done for Flash and Arrow. They're going to be all local. They're going to be able to do this and not have to. It'll be much easier to get everything running. I'm very excited for season 2. So.
Yeah, you're like Master Jailers. I don't even remember Gem.
I would love to.
You don't remember Gem?
Nope.
The Vancouver recording studios. Because so many of the shows we watch are done there.
Let's see if I could pull up a picture for Jem for Rachel and see if
I've probably seen it. Oh, her.
Yeah. Let's see.
Jem in the holograms? What?
Right? Jem in the holograms.
Yep.
Oh, that guy.
Definitely what it was. Jem in the holograms. He did it.
Mm-hmm.
Yay.
There's such a,
Mind lasers.
Mind lasers.
I literally thought Jem was a female.
Same here.
Yeah.
But hey.
I was going to continue to call that all the way up.
Yeah. Yeah.
There we go. There you go, Rachel. You remember Jem now?
Barely.
Barely.
I liked Bizarre Supergirl. She was my favorite.
As long as Rachel was going to call her a girl, I was just going to be like, yep, I'll show you her picture right now.
Yeah, I liked Bizarro Supergirl. She was my favorite.
Yeah, for sure.
Because she did, it's like, she kind of grew. Even though she was a clone, she grew.
Right.
Yeah.
As a character, because she didn't know better. She was like 2 years old, I mean?
And, next season, besides the pod and everything that they set up this season with Cadmist got me so excited. That alone is enough for me to go into season 2.
And I mean, I started watching Arrow from season 1, and I've been waiting for Cadmus.
Mm-hmm.
And with the worlds merging, because they have mentioned Cadmus finally in passing in, I think it was Flash? Or was it Arrow? I can't remember. But they mentioned it in one of them, and now that there's a legit Cadmus stuff happening, with worlds merging imminent, I'm very excited.
I love that we're talking about it like it's 100% gonna happen.
It's 100% gonna happen!
If it doesn't, we're gonna be so disappointed.
We're gonna be so disappointed. We're gonna go up to Vancouver and start picketing.
I'm gonna have to eat my own shoe.
You're gonna eat your shoe. Me and Rachel, probably Nikki too. We're gonna be picketing outside of the Vancouver studios.
No, I'll be getting my in, and I'll just be getting that tour like I was talking about, and I'm gonna be talking all the peeps, and we'll be happy.
Stephen and Mel will be outside with a picket sign with us, be like, "No, merge the worlds."
Loves to rain.
I'm from Oregon. You think a little rain's gonna hurt me?
There's not enough rain in Oregon. But I think that about does it. You guys have anything else to say about the finale? Or Supergirl's future?
It's going to be on the CW. That's the future.
That is the future. The future is now.
No, I think it'll do a lot better.
You don't remember those CW Now commercials? Probably
That's not a thing anymore, is it?
No.
I don't think so. It was like 2 seasons ago.
Yeah.
No, I think Supergirl's going to do a lot better.
Now it's, what was it? Dare to Defy?
Something like, yeah.
Something stupid like that.
All I know is CW, just cancel all your other programming and just make DC comic shows and we will all be happy. Just do it.
No, there's certain shows they need to keep.
They can move those to other networks.
I like how you keep pointing it out like it's such a rare thing. I do it all the time.
Mm-hmm. Rachel, where can the people find you?
You can find me on Twitter at Savannah17. Over there. Right here.
Right next to your daughter.
Right next to my daughter. Okay.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Oh, look, she's
I'm
turning
squishing your head!
Yep.
I'm squishing your head.
Whoa.
Whoa.
She's actually squishing your head. Nikki, where can the people find you and your love for snarty babies? Of all sorts, including Lisa's.
No, not Lisa.
Lisa Snarty Babies!
No, she's not allowed to make snarty babies.
She's not allowed to.
She can make all the snarty babies she wants.
You can't tell her what to do.
I sure as hell can. You can find me on Twitter at LadyVenom24, LadyYVENOM24.
Mm-hmm. Cleo, where can the people find you snorting up a storm?
They can find me at Cleomoto on Twitter, Twitch, and Pinterest.
Like a tsunami or a hurricane or a tornado.
What? Oh, storm. Oh. I don't know. What does a snort sound like?
You can find me down below.
What does it sound like? I'm serious.
You can find me down below at Phenomenon, PHENOMEGOM.
Phenomenon.
You can also find us on Facebook, Gmail, G+, Twitter, and right here on YouTube at /ASO TV Podcast for some more podcasts for some of your favorite TV shows, games, and movies. Until next week, we're not going to be here.
Till next time, which will be next fall.
See you next season on the CW. Because we're going to be on the CW. No, I wish we were on the CW.
That'd be amazeballs.
We're not Chris Hardwick.
Chris Hardwick's on the CW?
No, but he does post shows.
About the CW?
I hate you.